Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're checking out the amazing VR co-op RPG Dungeons of Eternity. I have a lot to say about this game, but I do need to mention that the developers asked me to cover this game, but I'm really happy they did because co-op RPGs are my genre of choice. I've been begging for more in VR, and luckily, this one does not disappoint. So I'll break down the whole game, let you know if it's right for you, what I like, what I don't like, where they can improve, etc, etc. Now, there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead. So let's get into this, starting with the basic information. Dungeons of Eternity is now available on the Quest 2 and up for $29.99. It offers up over 50 hours of content that you will unlock over time. It features cooperative play between 1 to 3 gamers, but you could also tackle this in a solo mode. There's some excellent physics-based combat, a full progression system filled with tons of loot and avatar customization, 3 different quest modes featuring procedurally generated levels, 4 different realms to explore populated with over 15 types of monsters, including some pretty epic boss creatures. There's a wide array of weapons, magical staves, and potions, and finally full body avatars that help keep the immersion up. But that right there was the game's own key selling point. Let's get into my subjective opinion, and I'll start by telling you what this game is actually all about. Well, it's basically a dungeon crawler in co-op that has an excellent grind. You'll go from seemingly rags to riches. Your character basically starts off in baggy, dirty clothes with a hand axe, and as you level up, unlock new items, and find new loot, you're going to start looking more and more like some sort of epic adventurer. So that right there is rewarding enough, but what also helps carry this game is the fact that it has some excellent physics-based combat. Normally in these VR online games, you'll see a lack of good netcode, collisions don't match for everybody, or player position doesn't match, or a lot of times just the character animations on your co-op friends look really awkward. That is not the case here. This is pretty amazing what they've been able to do, especially on the quest itself. You have that physical combat where you feel the impact, you can block attacks, the spells from staves feel really good. So when you have a good gameplay loop, fun combat, and fun loot, it's a solid game all around. I was especially impressed with some of the character animations, because a lot of these games, when someone's climbing on a rope, basically their legs just dangle in air, but that's not the case here. You will see the other character kind of wrap their legs around. Not perfect, but it's much better than what we usually get. Also, there's features like if you hold something that illuminates up to your fellow gamer and move it around, their eyes will track it. It's these small attentions to detail that just make the game really shine.
You know what's crazy? Your eyes follow it. This is crazy. Hold on.
Now, another aspect that helps sell this game is the overall excellent graphics. I know they are a bit cartoony and some people prefer more realism, but the quest can only do so much, and what they do here is done so well. Nothing breaks the overall immersion. In fact, it only adds to it. I already mentioned those excellent character animations, but the environments are done well, the enemies look great. When you run into a larger imposing creature, it's intimidating, you want to run away. So they nailed it there, and there's no excessive foveated rendering, jaggies from low resolution. It's just done really well altogether. Now, I do want to take a moment and compare this game to my favorite PCVR co-op RPG, Legendary Tales. On one aspect, the games are very similar, and in fact, I would call Dungeons of Eternity the quest answer to Legendary Tales. So if you've only had a quest and you've seen people playing that game and you got a little jealous, well, this game will scratch that same itch. They're similar dungeon crawlers. You just jump in, get in combat, join your friends, find some loot. They're similar in that aspect. The RPG elements are a bit more refined and developed on the PC side when it comes to Legendary Tales. But overall, these games carry over a similar experience, so if you liked one of them, you should like the other. Dungeons of Eternity just happens to be more of a fun grind with your friends, and Legendary Tales is a bit more of a dark-themed challenge. But ultimately, they are similar titles, and I think there's room for both of them because I really enjoy both of them. But one of my favorite aspects of Dungeons of Eternity is the fact that you could play this for about an hour or two every single day and feel rewarded every time you jump in. The levels are pretty quick. They could be somewhere from like 15 to 35 minutes, and then you'll find some cool loot, level up, and then you'll be excited to add some new weapons to your character or maybe some new armor. And there's also, surprisingly, a sci-fi theme to this. It's not just fantasy. There's also a full sci-fi theme to this. So you actually get to augment your character with like cybernetic implants. It's a weird little twist to it, but mostly it feels like a fantasy dungeon crawler. Let's get into my recommendation. If you are looking for a dungeon crawler, especially one that you could play with your friends, If you like that type of loot finding grind or RPG elements and physics-based combat, this game is right up your alley. I highly recommend it for you. Now, for most other people, I think you'd still enjoy this game. Overall, it's just really done well. Now, if you're not interested in dungeon crawlers or RPGs, obviously this isn't for you. Additionally, if you're looking for an RPG with a deep storyline, well, this isn't it. This is basically a really fun grind. And I know that term grind is usually, has a negative connotation, but no, this is a fun gameplay loop that feels rewarding every 30 to 60 minutes. So it's a very solid, positive grind. Additionally, the developers have a roadmap for future content. So when you make it through your 40, 50 hours of gameplay and you're starting to get bored, well, hopefully by then there'll be something new to try. Now that right there was today's coverage of Dungeons of Eternity. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any more questions about this game, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer you. I think I got to everything, but you never know. It's pretty easy to forget something. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.